The call of the Hogs can be heard all the way to San Francisco.
You're listening to Pod at the Palace with Curtis Wilkerson on Inside Arkansas.
Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday, and welcome back to the Pod at the Palace. I'm your host, Curtis Wilkerson, coming to you recording Wednesday afternoon, post Inside Arkansas Live, pre-Arkansas LSU baseball. So the vibes remain, I would say, very high for the time being. Outside of we've got an awesome setup here. You guys can see from the background, we're kind of elevated up on a stage. That way, if folks are in here, they can kind of look up and listen and watch. It's really cool. We can kind of see the whole lay of the land. But what it means is, every single time I just look ahead, I see out onto the road and I see that stupid Mardi Gras Mike LSU Tiger attached to the back of a pickup truck, just getting drug around out here. I literally can't get away from it. It's driving me nuts. But we have Arkansas basketball to talk about. We're going to get into that. But first, got to tell you, today's episode is brought to you by our partners at Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas. Where'd it go there? There it is. Okay. Listen, summer's finally here. And, where's a better way to spend your summer than at the lake? Not too many places, right? If you don't own a boat, it's cool. It doesn't matter. You don't need to. Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas has you covered. They give you access to boats without the commitment. This is boating that fits your lifestyle. It's fun, it's flexible, and it's stress-free. To take care of the boat so you can simply enjoy the moment. From Cape Cod to the California coast, your next boat day awaits. There are 3 locations in Arkansas. The lake time is closer than you think, right? Whether you prefer Greer's Ferry Lake, Lake Hamilton, or a day on the river at Little Rock, Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas will help make your summer in the natural state the best one yet. Check out their website, www.freedomboatclubar.com today to learn more about the benefits of joining the club. All right, folks, we have Arkansas's SEC opponents and locations officially announced. And yes, like we hinted at, there was a surprise. How about that? What do you know? Now, the dates and times are going to come a little bit later, but we do know that SEC play is going to officially begin next season on Saturday, January 3rd. The final day of the regular season is going to be Saturday, March 7th. I'm glad that they're starting it on a Saturday. They usually end it on a Saturday because things get rolling on Wednesday night sadness every year in Nashville. So there's that. But let's go through just kind of a rundown today of our takeaways and what stood out, starting with a change to the home opponents for Arkansas, right? In the SEC, you get 3 teams that you play twice in a season every year, 1 at home and 1 on the road. 2 of those are kind of your permanents, right? You get them twice every single year, and it stays the same this year. And we know that's Missouri and LSU, which is lame and boring. But honestly, it should equal 4 wins on the regular, a minimum of 3, in my opinion, every single year. Like if you're going to play those teams 4 times, bare minimum against those Tigers, you got to go 3-1. That's just kind of where I'm at with it. But I don't know. Like I don't view either one of those as a rivalry in basketball. But it's just kind of been the way it is, man. Like 14 straight years playing Missouri twice a season. Arkansas's played LSU more games than anyone since they've joined the SEC. So it's just kind of one of those things. Whatever is what it is. If it's not going to be that sexy of a matchup, I just assume you get to play a couple teams that you're going to be able to beat. So now last year, the other home and home matchup for Arkansas was Texas. Okay, well, this coming season, they've switched it up, and we'll have a home and home with the Auburn Tigers. We're coming for you, Quinn. Hope you're ready, buddy. Listen, I absolutely love this. I really do. To me, the Texas thing is cool. I get it. I understand, the historic rivalry. But did you guys really feel it in basketball? I think that, Auburn, they're a good, respectable program. But, it's Bruce Pearl versus Cal. Right. And that's a lot of fun to me. That's theater. I like it. That's a great coaching matchup. The Tigers are coming off of a Final Four. So there's a lot of cachet and a lot of eyeballs that are going to be on that program. They're still going to be very, very good, but they're going to be more beatable than they were last year for sure, because it's a full-on roster rebuild. I mean, they got Tahad Pettiford back off that team, who came off the bench for him, was really good. He might be an all-SEC type of player. He's the only returner, man. Everybody else is new now. They got some talent, don't get me wrong, but it's a brand new squad over there for him. The first time for Arkansas to get Auburn twice in a season since the 2020-2021 campaign. If you guys remember that year, it was the it wasn't the year that things got shut down because of COVID, but it was the year where like attendance was reduced capacity or whatever. The first game was at Auburn. It was the SEC opener, and it was the game that Arkansas went down there and they scored 97 points on those boys and ran them off of their home floor. But it was the game where Justin Smith rolled his ankle, and he wound up missing the next 5 games, and Arkansas really, really struggled. It was after that, the very next game was Missouri. They lost at home, and it's kind of started that losing streak for them. They were undefeated up to that point. The second game was in Walton Arena, where they were just kind of getting on the other side of that stretch where they'd been struggling, and Auburn jumped all over them at home, had a big double-digit lead. Arkansas mounted that huge comeback. Justin Smith was back, and that was the game where every time Sharif Cooper brought the ball across half court, Eric Musselman used Justin Smith as like that shadow trapper. He just sent a double team every time to get the ball out of his hands. Arkansas winds up making a huge comeback and beating them by 2 points there in Walton Arena. So I like it, man. I think this is good for the SEC. I think it was a good move. The way I see it, and feel free to agree or disagree, but if you aren't going to get Kentucky for a home and home, you want to either get Florida or Tennessee or Alabama or Auburn. Like, you want to get one of the top 3 or 4 teams remaining in there. Auburn certainly qualifies. I guarantee you that they feel the exact same way about Arkansas. So, hey, I am all in for this one. Looking forward to making another trip down to the jungle and looking forward to welcoming the Tigers back to Walton Arena. The last time they were here, or last time they were in Fayetteville, they beat the brakes off of Arkansas. If you remember that, it was Eric Musselman's last year, and that game got ugly, got away from him quick. And I guess the time before that would have been when Auburn came in as number 1, and Arkansas took him down. And next thing you know, you had Eric Musselman's nipples out, and he's still in his sling, and Kamani Johnson's dancing on top of the entire crowd that has stormed the floor. So it was pretty awesome. Some good memories there, and I imagine we'll make some more here next season. All right, we've got some takeaways from the rest of the SEC slate, but before we do dive into that, I have to remind you about our friends over at Macadoodles, fine wine, beer, and spirits, and we hope that we're here in Omaha long enough to get back out there and do another live show in their Omaha location. The store is managed by a recent University of Arkansas alum, and listen, the customer service here in Omaha is executed in exceptional style, modeling the Arkansas Macadoodles locations. Macadoodles Omaha has free popcorn, free coffee, and free samples every single day. And during this run here in the College World Series, Macadoodles Omaha is providing free ice to Arkansas Razorback fans. That's important. You need ice. It's hot out there, folks. You got to keep those drinks cold. Any purchase comes with ice on the house. Macadoodles Omaha also has a College World Series point competition running. Busch Light 30 packs are as low as $16.88 with purchase of participating products. Each purchase is worth a point for a fan's collegiate team of interest in the College World Series. They also have a large selection of other beers if something else tickles your fancy. Seltzers, liquor, and wine to make the College World Series a blast. Water, snacks, cigars, among other items also available, making Macadoodles Omaha your one-stop shop for all of your College World Series needs. Okay, let me pull up the graphic here, and let's get into some of our takeaways for the full slate. Let's see. And let's go this way. Boom. There we go. We got it pulled up. This is very, very interesting. First things first. The home slate for Arkansas this season, it's just better than last. And last year's wasn't awful, but it's kind of weird, right? You had Florida at home on a Saturday, but it was very, very early. I think before anyone really caught on as to how good Florida actually was. They were rolling a little bit when they came into Walton Arena. Did you guys think they were a national championship contender? I don't know that anybody was really there just yet, right? And, you had Alabama at home at one point there, which is a really good game. But, outside of that, there were some other tournament teams that were mixed in, but nothing too sexy. Like, how excited did you get about Mississippi State coming in here? You know what I mean? This time around, it's obviously highlighted by Kentucky coming to the crib, right? The return match, Pope's got to face Walton Arena after Cal had to face Rupp. I like that. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be a blast. Honestly, I hope that. Listen, it's the biggest game of the entire SEC slate. There's no doubt about it. So they need to do it justice and put it on a Saturday at Walton Arena. I would like it to be the regular season finale, but at least have it late, I think, in the conference schedule to where it's an even bigger game of consequence there. And then I think you're really rolling with something. But on top of that, as we mentioned, Auburn coming to town. That's a banger. I love it. You've got Tennessee coming to town, which is always a hot ticket. Now, I do not actually think that Tennessee is going to be as good this coming season as they have been recently, but they're always tough. They call them regular season Rick for a reason. Like, they're going to be good every single regular season, but I do think this is a good time to catch them. Like, that's a game that's going to draw a big crowd. They're probably going to be a top 25 team. It's a name brand. I love it. And then we'll see, right? Because you get what should be a couple gimmies in LSU and South Carolina, and you need some of those. Win those games, man. Take care of business at home. Okay. I'm not saying that you can take a deep breath against anyone in this league. You can't. But I think there's something to be said for getting some of the lesser teams in the conference in your home building. But then you've got the wild cards, right? You got Missouri, Texas A&M, Texas, and Vanderbilt all coming to Fayetteville. And every one of those teams made the NCAA tournament last season. All of them did. All of them, in my opinion, profile coming into next season is anywhere from the 8th seed-ish to the bubble. So they're going to be right there again. Those are all going to be games of consequence, man. They're coming into your building looking at opportunity to boost their own resume. You're going to get their best shot. So we'll see, what kind of profile winds up getting attached to those. But I would imagine, bare minimum, you'll have a 50-50 split of, potential top 25 matchups versus, hey, you've got a hungry bubble team coming to Fayetteville and Walton Arena. So I think it's going to be really, really good. I do. Now, we know that life on the road, it's never easy in the SEC. It's just not. Although the Hogs had some big dubs away from home last year, if you think about it. I mean, that win at Kentucky changed the trajectory of the entire season. And then they followed it up by going on the road at Texas and picking up a huge victory. The win in the last week of the regular season at Vanderbilt was massive, quad one win that kind of helped them clinch their spot into the tournament. Looking at this year's slate, I mean, the one that's the toughest one that stands out from the bunch, it's Arkansas going to face the defending champs, right? You see the Florida Gators and Boogie Fland at the O-Dome. That's going to be a lot of fun. I can't wait to see DJ checking Boogie. I can't wait to see Darius Acuff and Boogie going at. That's going to be a lot of fun. Florida's going to be very, very good again. That's going to be another good barometer for the evolution and the progress that Arkansas has made in their front court to face that front court from Florida, which is in a way what you're kind of modeling what you have going on, at Arkansas, of having a lot of different guys that you can turn to, getting a lot better on the offensive glass is going to be a big part of what Arkansas does. And that's going to be a great, great matchup for them on the road. Historically speaking, Arkansas hasn't had a whole hell of a lot of success there in Florida, but it's been a little bit better here lately. So that's going to be a great one. Going back to Auburn, where they're very, very tough to beat in the jungle. We know that. Now, Arkansas, a depleted Arkansas team damn near beat a much, much better Auburn team in the jungle last year. So there's that goes into it. But man, then you have to go back to that airport hangar that they call Coleman Coliseum and play Bama. It's kind of a weird venue and a weird place to play. They're always tough at home. So, those are all going to be tough games, man. And, but then after that, like, you always look for those sneaky quad one games that you can get on the resume, because any top 75 net team, if you play them on the road, it's a quad one, right? It's like, it doesn't have to be a top 25 or anything like that. It's just top 75 in that net. You can get a Q1 for it. So it feels pretty safe, I think, to assume that as I look at this road slate, Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Missouri, they're all going to wind up as quad ones on the road. Oklahoma, who you will play in Norman for the first time in a long time on the road, certainly the first time in their young SEC life, is going to be another one that qualifies there. Hell, LSU, they very well may be in that mix as well. So we'll see what Georgia looks like. I'm not that sold on them just yet, but nothing's easy. Nothing's a given down there. What I do wonder is how it's going to shape up. That's why I'm always excited when we see the actual dates come out, because you can see what those tough stretches look like. And they did a really good job, I think, with the SEC schedule last year of 2 games at home, 2 games on the road, one week at home, 1 week on the road, right? So I wonder, does Arkansas wind up getting Auburn and Alabama in the same road trip for geography? That would be brutal. Or, do they get Ole Miss and Mississippi State on the same road trip, which would be brutal for entirely different and gross reasons. Just disgusting, actually. Now, I don't know how much they care about that from a travel standpoint, but if they're trying to save money or whatever, it would make some sense to do that logistically. I know when I was scheduling NAIA and everything like that, it was a deal where we always had a travel partner. Like there, you would, if you were close geographically to somebody and you were on a home stretch, then that team would come play you and the person close to you. And then somebody would be paired with you and you would go travel. You would play somebody on a Thursday and your travel partner would play a different school on a Thursday. And then you'd flip-flop those matchups for Saturday. It's just kind of how they did it. That's not necessarily how the SEC does things, but it would make a little bit of sense if that's what they wound up doing. So let's wrap up, I think, today by turning to our What to Watch segment presented by our friends over at Bryant Technologies. And folks, listen, we know that they're your home for all your network and security needs. Bryant Technologies is dedicated to delivering high-quality network infrastructure and security camera solutions. They take pride in their exceptional workmanship and commitment to keeping your business operations seamlessly connected and secure. Whether it's structured cabling, security camera installation, digital signage, or TV mounting, Bryant Technologies has you covered. They service the entire state of Arkansas as well as all of Arkansas's bordering states. Have Bryant Technologies help you with all your network and security needs. Give them a call, 870-883-0330, or check out their website at www.bryantstechnologies.com. It's Bryant Technologies, quality work guaranteed. Okay, so in terms of what to watch here, I mean, I kind of feel like we're on alert for what may be Arkansas's most challenging schedule in program history. On paper, kind of makes a lot of sense. I'll tell you this. If you avoid any L's to the bye games on your schedule, you know what I mean? Like the tomato cans that you have coming in at home in November, it will be damn near impossible with that strength of schedule to not have just a super high net ranking for Arkansas, right? If you win your decent share of those games, you know, this is the type of schedule that could have the Hogs in Oklahoma of last year territory, where you can have just like a suspect record in the league, or even overall with their record, which is like Oklahoma had. They were like 4 games over 500 and 6-12 in SEC play. And they were more of a lock than Arkansas was. It's because of some of the work they did early and because of how challenging their schedule was when you combine the SEC with a really, really tough non-conference road. Like they got away with it because of that. And the quad one wins, or the quad one opportunities for Arkansas is going to be aplenty. It's crazy. I just took a quick glance at the most updated bracketology that I could find, and I saw that out of a 31-game schedule, and we don't know every one of them yet. Like, we don't know all the games just yet. We know that Arkansas is trying to add a game in Dallas, right, for another non-conference, neutral side opponent there, which would probably be a good one. But just based off what we know, out of 31 games, 20 of them that Arkansas plays are against projected NCAA tournament teams. And that's just insane. The best home slate Arkansas has had in a long, long time. I mean, as long as I can remember. Baylor at home, Louisville at home. When's the last time you had 2 teams like that coming into Walton Arena in the non-conference, especially early? Kentucky, Auburn, Tennessee, really, really solid. And if they do wind up in that, adding that game in Dallas at a neutral, you'd have that. You'd have a true road game at Michigan State. You're playing Duke on a neutral. You're playing Houston on a neutral. You're looking at one of the most challenging schedules in the country at that point. I mean, you absolutely are. And I love what Aaron Torres said about this the other day. He said that basically John Calipari's not ducking any smoke. And if he's scheduling this aggressively, that's usually a pretty good indicator that, he knows what lies ahead of him in SEC play. So if he's being that aggressive with it in non-conference scheduling, he knows he's got a good team. And if he's really, really good about what he's got in that room, as he should. And so I kind of take this as a sign of, if Arkansas is, welcoming all challengers, it means that they're ready to go out there and beat them, and they feel like they got a team that can do it. So it makes me even more excited for the season ahead. But, hey, going to get out of here, folks, and get ready for this baseball game. Appreciate you for tuning in, as always. Appreciate the support and continuing to quench your basketball thirst while we're in the middle of this College World Series run. But, hey, subscribe to the Inside Arkansas YouTube channel if you haven't done that already. Find us where you find your podcasts. Apple, Spotify, the Pod Palace can be found there. But I'm out of here. I'll see you guys tomorrow, bright and early. It's been Curtis Wilkerson with Inside Arkansas on the Pod Palace. Y'all have a good day.